In Gladiator II, a Roman general says Vae Victis after taking a city and slaughtering thousands. But what does it mean, and why do the Romans love to say it? Vae Victis, or Vae Victis as the Romans would have said it in ancient times, means woe to the conquered, and that to the victor goes the spoils. Now, to understand why the Romans said this, we have to go back to 390 BC, to a time when Rome was just one of many insignificant cities in Italy. The warlike Gauls to the north saw an easy target with only a small citizen militia to defend itself. They slaughtered the Romans in battle and then took the city itself. The Gauls weren't interested in colonization and conquest. They wanted booty, plain and simple. So the citizens of Rome raided their houses, their temples, their fingers and their necks of gold, silver and jewels in order to pay the tribute to the warlike Gauls. The Romans were concerned, however, because they noticed that the Gauls were using unfair weights to measure the booty, so they were paying well above the rates that they had agreed upon. In response, the king of the Gauls, Brennus, chucked his swords onto the scales and said, Vae Victis, or woe to the conquered. This struck the Romans to their very core. Never again would they let themselves get in this situation. No, they were going to be the conquerors, and they were going to do this to the vanquished. Ever since Brennus said Vae Victis to the Romans, they gained a pathological fear of total defeat. Yes, they could be pushed away from the battlefield multiple times, losing thousands of men, but to surrender would go against the scar that Brennus had left them in their collective psyche. One of the best generals of the ancient world was Pyrrhus, king of the Hellenistic kingdom of Epirus. He destroyed the Romans in battle with his formidable army multiple times, dislodged their allies, and then marched on the city itself. Any normal ancient state would have surrendered at the overwhelming odds, but Rome is no ordinary ancient state. They raised another army and forged fresh alliances, only to be defeated by Pyrrhus' superb army yet again. Pyrrhus this time noticed something was different. He said to one of his generals, "If I am victorious against the Romans one more time, I shall be utterly ruined." Rome continued to build her Mediterranean empire, whereas Pyrrhus was killed when an old woman chucked a roofing tile at his head. 60 years after Rome defeated Pyrrhus, a new enemy emerged. This time, Hannibal Barca, the Carthaginian, marched all the way from Spain across the Alps into Italy with his formidable army and battle elephants. Rome dealt with this in the way that they knew how. They sent a massive army to confront the invader head on. This did not go well. 30,000 Romans were slaughtered in one afternoon alone. The Romans didn't learn their lesson because this happened a total of 3 times, culminating in one of the bloodiest days in military history when 70,000 Romans were put to the sword near the village of Cannae. Now, for any normal ancient civilization, this would spell utter defeat. Vae Victis. Let's not forget that it only took 3 victories for Alexander the Great to dismantle one of the largest empires the world had ever seen, the Achaemenid Persian Empire. Rome prevailed despite its 100,000 dead on the battlefield because of their pathological fear of total defeat and surrender. Vae Victis.